morning, everyone. This is Matthias Chang once again from Future Fast Forward. I'm so happy to be back here again to share my views, my experience, and tactics that we need to command and able to apply in our struggle against the Najib regime. Over the long weekend, during the entire Chinese New Year holiday or Spring Festival, I've been asked many times, how do we get the courage and the determination, the resilience to face the ugly truth, and then, more importantly, to expose the ugly truth? And I would like to share that issue first before I go to the substance of my address today. So I have with you here a special passage which I always read in times of difficulty or when I have doubts whether I have the courage to face the truth. How to face and uphold truth without fear or favor. Wrong spellings of fail. Without fear or favor. So sorry. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against the flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Three things I want to highlight here. One is the symbolism that the truth should be like a belt, all right, tie around your body to give you strength. Okay? And then the shield. Arm yourself with the shield of God. And the sword is the word of God. And that's why all my address to you, I've always said, surrender to the will of Allah completely. Have absolute faith that He will protect us, defend us, and guide us under all circumstances, in the face of all enemies, adversities, and challenges. What I've read to you, the two passages, can be summarized in that plea to all of you every time. Surrender to the will of Allah completely. Have absolute faith that He will protect, defend, and guide us under all circumstances, in the face of all adversities, enemies, and challenges. And remember, faith is a shield, faith in God Almighty, against onslaught of our enemies, of our evil. And the word of God is that sword that will destroy and defeat the evil, our enemies who lie, who propagate lies, distort the truth, and indulge in insidious propaganda. Having said that, I will now tell you some very good news. Alright? And I hope you will now please get your handphone ready while watching this video, because I want you to photograph page by page what I'm going to show you, and then WhatsApp and send out to everyone. Alright? Then I will explain the essence of each page which you have photographed. The first page is the FEMA, the Swiss Federal Authority press statement issued on the 2nd of February 2017. Photograph it now. You got it? Get your handphone ready. Okay? I count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the next page, again, just just photograph it. I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got it? Okay. Now the third page. I count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fourth page. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have ample time to photograph it. The next page, once again, quickly. Okay, have it ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please photograph it. I'm very serious. You must send it out to everyone you know. Next page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Send it out immediately. 3 more pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it? Good. Very good. Second last page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save it, don't delete it. Save it in your handphone. The last page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now remember, in each of the pages that you have photographed, I've deliberately underlined the relevant paragraphs. Those are the essential evidence that you must inform your friends and relatives. Okay. So now I will go again from first page and I read to you those parts which I've underlined so that you understand the essence. This press statement of the Swiss authorities has literally hung with the noose around the necks of all the criminals, all the members of the criminal cabal that was involved in the 1MDB scandal. The financial rapists, the money launderers, they have nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. And of course, all this while, the cabal has tried to divert attention. Okay? Firstly, recently with the disclosure that there was a CIA report against Tun Mahathir on BMF. Alright? Let me say, I challenge the Najib cabal and anyone in Malaysia who supports the cabal. First, have they read that CIA report? 2, if they had read the CIA report, show to me which paragraph, which sentence, which word attributes or have accused Tun Mahathir of criminality, criminal responsibility for the BFM loan that was, went into a mess in 1983. The loan was given much earlier. Tun Mahathir became the Prime Minister in 1981. I won't go any further. as before, what I want is to challenge the cabal, not just some troopers, the propaganda, the lies, the liars. Proof. Put on the newspaper in Straits Times, Star, the PM's website. Okay? Show to the whole world. Don't tell lies. Like the third force in Malaysia today. Put it out if you have the evidence. Let me say to all of you, that is a diversion from what MDB. Like I said, God works in mysterious ways. When He tried to divert attention from what MDB, the cabal, right, refer to CIA report. But God is great. On the 2nd of February, God acted in defense of truth and our Malaysian people. And God, the Swiss authority to issue a press statement. So let's go straight to the press statement. Referred to as Bank, Coats and Co. Limited, the first bank in which 700 million of the first 1 billion from what MDB was diverted. Scumbag, criminals, rapists, Coats and Co. Limited has seriously breached money laundering regulations by failing to carry out adequate background checks into business relationships and transactions associated with Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund 1MDB. The Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority has ordered the bank to disgorge unlawfully general profits of 6.5 million. That means 6.5 million Swiss francs or US dollars, which were the profits made by the bank, they have to surrender to the Swiss authorities. Okay. Down below, to save time, FEMA said, underlying words are focused on underlying words, the proceedings uncovered serious deficiencies in the bank's anti-money laundering processes for business relationships and transactions associated with the alleged corruption scandal involving the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund 1MDB. Okay? So I will only emphasize the underlying words. You can then go back and read, right, what you photograph. Then down below, the bank was involved at the early stage. In 2003, some employees of the Singapore branch of Coats entered into business relationships with individuals associated with what became known as the Sovereign Wealth Fund 1MDB. Coats, through its branch in Singapore, was the first Swiss bank to accept assets, okay, from these individuals, the crooks in 1MDB. In total, underline words, right? 1MDB related assets to the value of USD 2.4 billion were transferred to Coats accounts in Switzerland. Dubious reasons for transactions were not clarified. These are keywords, huh? In the summer of 2009, Coats opened a business relationship in Zurich with a young Malaysian businessman, name not mentioned, doesn't matter, implies JhoLow. When the account was opened, information was provided to the effect that USD 10 million will be transferred to it from account holders' family assets. You see, when you open an account, this young China Guai told the bank, we intend to transfer 10 million US dollars from the family assets. Lo and behold, the bombshell. Instead, in the autumn of 2009, approximately USD 700 million, remember? 700 million American pie was transferred to the account from the Malaysian Sovereign Fund 1MDB. The reasons given for these transactions was inconsistent, and some information was changed retrospectively. Not least the fact that the identities of the contracting parties were transposed. That means they changed. They lied from 10 million family assets, 700 million from 1MDB. You think JhoLow and his family got 700 million US dollars? So here is a straightforward assertion. JhoLow lied and used 1MDB money, 700 million. Then what happened is this. A member of the bank's compliance unit noted in the email. He was so shocked by this scam. It would be the first time in my career that I would see a case where in an agreement over the amount of USD 600 million or so, the role of the parties have been confused. Alright? Hanky-panky. Total fabrication. These are strong words. Huh? Total fabrication. Lies. Fraud. Forgery. Subsequently, between the late 2009 and early 2013, numerous high-risk transactions with a total value of USD 1.7 billion were processed through the account. Okay? The key underlying words. What happened? Underlying words. Courts of bank took no action to clarify the use of USD 35 million for visits to casino and the purchase of a range of luxury services. Example, the charter of yachts and private aeroplane. Hey, cabal! Regime of cabal, of criminals. Here is direct evidence. Part of MDB money was spent in gambling in casinos and buying yachts or renting yachts and aeroplanes. And down below, the underlying parts, contrary to the information provided when the account was opened, USD 380 million was transferred to this account from an offshore company in March 2013. A further USD 300 million followed. Pass-through transactions were then used to transfer most of the funds received to another domiciliary company belonging to the China Kwai businessman. Okay? And down below now, the underlying words. The bank employees expressed their unhappiness and reservation. Okay? They said, I feel very uncomfortable with this guy, China Kwai, and the transactions that are going through the account. I think the manager has to make a decision whether to keep this relationship. Okay? So, the normal rank and file bank officers were worried, new crime was committed, and was hoping that the senior management would do something. And then, it says here, underlying words. Just before the underlying words above, as early as March 2013, the following was noted in the internal bank meeting about the business relationship with the Malaysian businessman, the China Kwai. X is a key client who we are comfortable with the source of funds, source of income and activity performed on these accounts. In 2003 and 2004, various compliance bodies within the bank again raised and questioned the business relationship. On each occasion, however, decided to continue with it. And then, as a result of this investigation, FEMA orders disgorgement of Swiss franc 6.5 million. And then, at the bottom of this page, to save time, cooperation with other countries. The transactions described above were executed between banks from a variety of countries and across several continents and financial centers. In the course of its investigations, FEMA coordinated its action with a number of other countries, especially with the Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, which has already brought its proceedings against Coates to a close. Since Coates belonged to the UK-based Royal Bank of Scotland group during the period in question, FEMA has also brought the case to the attention of the UK Financial Conduct Authority. So you will notice that whatever lies and propaganda and diversion, 1MDB will not go away. No matter when and how late Najib want to postpone the elections, hoping that the issue will die down, let me assure all Malaysians, God will ensure at each stage more dirt, more crimes will be exposed. And on 2nd February, wonderful, all right, to counter the diversion of BMF, God created a situation whereby the Swiss authorities issued a press statement in detail, right, using very harsh words against perpetrators. Now, I will now go to the next issue, which is very important, concerning Malaysia. There was a statement by Khairi, okay, the super duper delegated by Najib to be the mastermind of Vision 2050. And you recall in my previous address, I exposed that this young punk has no brains, no vision, empty, hollow, because from 2003 till now, his sole responsibility was for the young people. I'm no youth head. Now he's Minister of Youth and Sports, etc. And he knows, after my exposure, my condemnation, that 2050 is a propaganda ploy, or thunder no rain, and cannot be fulfilled for the simple reason if you can't fulfill the objectives of 2020, how can you fulfill 2050? So in order to prepare his failure, you know what he did? He issued a statement. It's a source, I given from Malaysia Kini. Title is Citing Dr. M and Pak La, Father-in-law, KJ fears Malaysian authority attitudes will derail TN50. I would rather call TN50 talking nonsense to 2050 as opposed to Vision 2050. Why is all nonsense? Because they have not come up with the details. To today, they said they will do so in the years to come. Again, another diversion from 1MDB, from the mess they've created. The whole country is a mess. And now KJ realized that he is put in the position, right, the architect of 2050, TN50, talking nonsense to 2050. He realized he was given a poison chalice to drink by Najib, and he can't run anywhere, so he's preparing the ground for failure. Bear that in mind. So all of us must be on guard. Okay? Follow him. Track him down. For every move he makes, every announcement, catch him, archive what he say, so that when he says something else later, we can retrieve what he said earlier to expose his new strategy or tactics in lies, more lies, and propaganda. I will now come to another issue. It's very, very disturbing. It's because since the election of Trump as president, for some strange reasons, all right, some Muslims, some, not all, in Malaysia has been on the warpath to the extent of hate, anger, based on entire emotions without logic or reason. Sheer hate. And I received numerous videos. Alright? Caricature, jokes, false news, fake news about Trump. Alright? And then you recall that I had sent WhatsApp to all of you who's on my list, a message which I sent to a DAP member, Ronnie Liu, asking him to tell the Secretary General of PKR and Pakatan Harapan not to hold a demonstration on last Friday at the US Embassy. Allegedly, all right, to protest against the law or the order issued by President Trump to restrict for a certain period, not permanent, and to impose serious extreme vetting to prevent terrorists entering USA. And this is what I'm going to show to you. This is a Star report. I'll give the source to you, right? Group protests against Trump travel ban. Quoting the words of Saifuddin, we're not against democracy or America. All of us here are against discrimination, more so if it's selected discrimination. We want interfaith understanding, but this executive order spoils it all. This executive order fits into the Islamic State narrative, says Saifuddin. My reply to him and earlier to people in DAP, utter rubbish, hypocrisy, lies, misleading statements, and posturing. Okay? Interfaith understanding, bullshit and horseshit. Now, why do I say that? Because this demonstration is against a so-called immigration law in America. Let's pause here for a while. Alright? Because, like I said at the beginning of this address, I'm prepared to fight for truth, expose truth and lies. So expose lies and defend truth. Why all of a sudden this harangue, this anger, emotions, opposition to a law which every country has a right to impose on any immigrant, even Malaysia? Why? Why did the refugees storm into America? You see, the people led by Saifuddin on Friday did not ask the question, what was the cause of the influx of refugees to America and Europe? They forgot, you see, to ask the question. Not really forgot. They dare not tell the truth to the whole country. The cause of the refugee is because the false Muslim Obama and his co-conspirator, Hillary Clinton, started the war in Syria because they want a regime change for purpose of oil and pipeline from Qatar to Europe, which they want to control. And I've said repeatedly, and I'll show you due course, they finance, they trade the ISIS, the most deviant, corrupt Muslims in the entire world. They were financed and trained by US, UK Special Forces, the Israeli Special Forces, financed by Saudi Arabia, Wahhabis, Qataris, Jordan, and Turkey. Okay? And they killed Muslims. Slaughtered Muslims in Syria. And that was before, right, the influx of refugees. Why have Saifuddin and all these Muslims and Christians as well condemn Trump and not condemn the slaughter, genocide going on in Syria at the time? If there was refugees fleeing Syria way back in 2011, why didn't Malaysia, why did Saifuddin, all these Christians, Muslims, ask Najib regime, open the doors of Malaysia, bring them all in? Why not? Why now? Why the hypocrisy? War crimes were committed by Obama, who continued the policy of the other war criminal, Bush. I said before, Clinton destroyed Libya and said in a public television interview, we came, we saw, he died. Gaddafi was murdered, sodomized by a knife, and now Libya is the failed state. Where were they not demonstrating? And why were they not demonstrating against this massacre, destruction of Libya, a fellow Muslim country, in front of the US Embassy in Malaysia? Tell me, hypocrites. Yes, I have criticized the Najib cabal when they are wrong. I will also criticize Pakatan Harapan if they are wrong, and they are wrong on this issue. No compromise on truth. No compromise on the spreading of falsehood. You see, another hypocrisy, another lie with Saifuddin and Muslims and Christians in condemning Trump. Not that I support Trump, okay? No misunderstanding. I'll come to that later. Why did they say or give the impression that when Trump issued an executive order banning certain people, okay, refugees, those who have visas or green card from 7 countries, Trump was not creating a new law. The issuance of an order is not a new law. An order can be only issued if there's existing law. And I wrote in my articles, posted to my website, Future Fast Forward, and WhatsApp to all of you who are on my list, that the law underlying the prevention of immigrants at the sole discretion of the President of America was enacted by Obama, the false Muslim, way back in 2011, amended, modified, expanded in 2015. Do you know that? Without that act, Trump could not have issued the order. All right? You know what's the act? Okay? Use a handphone, photograph the title, and Google it. Scumbag hypocrites, by telling half-truth and lies and misrepresentation, you have misled fellow Muslims, you Muslim leaders. You have misled fellow Christians, you Christian leaders, that went on a war path against the order. Okay, let me read to you. In the Act of 2015, enacted by Trump, by Obama, it says here, pursuant to the Act, the Secretary of Homeland Security has 60 days to determine whether additional countries or areas of concern should be subject to the travel or dual nationality restrictions under the Act. Last month, that's in 2015, the United States began implementing changes under the Act. The 3 additional countries designated today, which are Libya, Somalia, Yemen, all right? 3 countries added in 2005 were added to join Iran, Iraq, Sudan, and Syria as countries subject to restrictions for visa waiver program travel for certain individuals. And then it says here, the addition of these 3 countries is indicative of the department's continued focus on the threat of foreign fighters. DHS continues to review the security of the visa waiver program, the threat environment, and potential vulnerabilities. This is the latest step in a series of actions over the past 15 months to strengthen the security of the visa waiver program and ensure the program's requirements are commensurate with the growing threat from foreign terrorist fighters, many of whom are nationals of the visa waiver program countries. So the 7 countries which are covered by the order of Trump were the 7 countries singled out by this false Muslim Obama. He gives details provision in this act. Okay? The Visa Waiver Program Improvement and Terrorist Travel Prevention Act. And this man Obama, they pretend, went on television to condemn Trump, as if Trump created a new act. By analogy, ISA, before it was repealed, was a law passed by Parliament. The Sedition Act is a law passed by Parliament and endorsed by the Agong as head of state, as required under the Constitution. No minister at the material time can detain anyone under ISA if there was no ISA. He can't issue an order to detain anyone, without the underlying act. Likewise, without the Sedition Act, no minister or AG can prosecute someone or issue the order of arrest of someone unless there is an underlying act. So what was the underlying act to enable Trump to issue an order? He was a citizen, businessman, until he took part in the election. When he was inaugurated on the 20th of January, till now, he could not have passed any act because Congress has not passed any act under his authority. Okay? And then there's another act which Obama, this criminal, war criminal, passed, was Section 212 of the Immigration and Nationality Act 1952, where it states, whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or of any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by a proclamation, and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. And Obama, pursuant to Section 212F of this Act, in addition to the previous Act, has invoked 6 orders, 6 times. I challenge anyone to show to me that the order of Trump was targeted against only Muslims. Because from the 7 countries, there are also Christians fleeing. They flee because of ISIS persecuted and murdered them. There were also other nationalities as well, not just Muslims. Although the majority were Muslims, there were Christians, okay, as well. So, how did it come to a conclusion? As Saifuddin says, this is about human rights, democracy. Shit! You lie! You misrepresent. Don't you dare do that. And I warned you in my message to Ronnie Liu. You lie, I will whack you. And today I'm whacking you. No compromise. Because by your action, and those who attended the demonstration, you have misled fellow Muslims. And make this into an Islamic narrative. Okay? You have reinforced the Islamic narrative in this country without telling the truth. Without telling the truth. Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a Muslim organization. The only Islamic Muslim army in modern times that was able to defeat the Israeli fascist Zionists in the 206 war. Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, Kuwait, Qatar, you name it, Turkey, didn't have the guts, the very crude, that had the balls to lift a finger to fight Israel. And when they fought Israel, they lost. But armed with the might of Allah, the word of Allah is a sword, the faith of Allah is a shield, Hezbollah defeated the warmongers, war criminal of Israel when they invaded Lebanon. Defeated them. And yet, you, hypocrites, still support Saudi Arabia, Wahhabis, scumbags. Lastly, know your history. When Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, having received revelation from God and having founded and established Islam, when his companions and followers spread the word throughout the world and became one of the largest religious movement and established a caliphate empire, he did not designate any companions or leaders as the custodian of Mecca or Medina. You don't know that, did you? Prior, before the First World War, there was no Saudi Arabia, there was no Jordan, Iraq, Syria, Kuwait, Bahrain, Yemen. There was the British colonial power. In 1916, the Sykes-Picot Agreement. In the midst of First World War, when the Jews came on the side of the British, they realized they will win the First World War. They decided to carve out the entire Ottoman Empire that covers the whole of Middle East, North Africa to Europe. And then created Saudi Arabia. Saud, the name of the barbaric Bedouin tribe. And his colleague Wahhab, the founder of Wahhabism. And then became a king. There was no king, there was no Saudi Arabia. Saud, the first king, was the creation of the British. The British gave them the power and gave them the title custodian of Mecca and Medina. They are the false Muslims. Wahhabism is a scourge to true Islam. And today, Iran, Hezbollah, and the patriot people of Syria are fighting against ISIS, a construct of the US imperial power. And who started Syria? Obama, false Muslim. Now let's see, who is this Obama? Who is this Obama? But before I go to Obama, a lot of people say is, send me videos of Trump giving a speech in AIPAC, AIPAC, the Jewish lobby in America during election. They forgot Hillary Clinton gave a speech also. Obama gave a speech in 2008 and 2012. Worse, groveling, licking the ass of the Zionists, Obama. Why pick on Trump and not show Obama and Clinton? Shame, 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 you liars. Alright? So, now isn't it funny? If really Trump was a Jewish lover, and we all know no presidents can be elected without the Jewish vote. Maybe Trump was tactically humoring the Jewish, because this picture says what? Look at this picture. It was genuine a lover of Jews and Zionism. Why are the Jews, rabbis all over? Google. It's a search engine. It's not a source, it's a search engine. Why Jews reject Trump? Is there any sign Jews reject Obama? Reject Clinton? Huh? scumbags, liars, hypocrites. Now tell me, lastly, you Google now, you Google. If you can find in modern history, which American leader dare say what Trump said a few days ago? He was asked what he thought of President Putin, whether President Putin was a killer. Live television, you know what Trump said? And I quote to you. Google it, these words. There are, write it down, words of Trump. No American leader has ever said that. In response to an allegation that Putin is the killer, he replied, Trump, there are a lot of killers. We have got a lot of killers, meaning at US. What do you think our country is? So innocent? He dare say that. The US is full of killers, not innocent. He recognized that. So let's not judge him too harshly. If and when should he follow the past actions of President, then we will condemn him without mercy. But now, has he killed any Muslim? Has he invaded any country? No. And yet, some of these Muslims in our country, educated, for some strange reason, in an emotional state of intoxication of hate, anger, without logic, condemn Trump and send me. But I'm very glad that my most trusted Muslim friend, my most trusted friend is a Muslim. We had an exchange, and I explained to him what happened. And like a true Muslim, he said now he has a better understanding. But there were other Muslims, Alright. So when I said that Muslims sending me videos, I excluded this friend of mine, my most trusted friend. He was one of them. The others, educated, making fun, inciting anger and hatred. Likewise, Christians as well. Christians, Zionist Christians, they are the scumbags. So I'm saying to everyone, if you're a Christian, you support Obama and Clinton, clean your house first before you talk about Muslims. To the Muslims who support Obama and Clinton, clean the filth of your house first before you attack anyone else. As I said, I will expose the lies, damn lies and hypocrisy, and fight for truth. Now coming back, who is Obama? Say, when I expose this truth about Obama, one of my friends said, fake news! Prove to me! So I told him, if you accuse and say what has been published is fake, the evidential burden rests on him. But never mind. Today, I will show you an order, law passed by Obama. All schools and colleges must have no separation of male-female toilets. Look at this toilet sign in the White House. My friend, my Muslim friend who sent me, who says it's a fake news. Look at this picture on the door of the White House. Half woman, half male. How can you separate male toilet from female toilet? If you're a Muslim, or if you're a Christian, would you allow your daughter to share a bathroom with males, zipping their trousers, standing up with their dick, peeing in the urinals? While your daughter going in, your wife going in, you bloody hypocrites, all of you. Alright? He is for homosexuality, transgender. And it's a crime for any school, any college to maintain a toilet for male and female. Funding will be withdrawn. Funding. And this from Obama. Check it out. Okay. Now, I then say Obama is worse than a sinner. He's evil. Evil to the very core. Why? Because way back in 2011, he approved a new law. You know what the law is about? He allowed bestiality. He allowed bestiality. Okay. The National Defense Authorization Act 2011. Okay? Photograph it. Okay? Take a handphone, photograph it, and Google it. I read to you, repealing Article 125 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Article 125 or UCMJ makes it illegal to engage in both sodomy with humans and sex with animals. Bestiality is sex with animals. 125 says, article, any person subject to the chapter who engages in unnatural carnal copulation with another person of the same or opposite sex or with an animal is guilty of sodomy. Penetration, however slight, is sufficient to complete the offense. Any person found guilty of sodomy shall be punished as a court-martial will be directed. And Family Research Council of USA, Family Research Council, President Tony Perkins says, the effort to remove sodomy from military stems from liberal Senate Democrats and President Obama's support for removing the military's policy of don't ask, don't tell. Whether it was inadvertent or not, they have also taken out the provision against bestiality. So now, under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, there's nothing there to prosecute bestiality. Obama, therefore, you, false Muslim, why has no condemnation of Obama by the Muslims and Christian Zionists? You preach Jesus, you preach Allah and Prophet Muhammad, and they're promoting bestiality, sex with animals. Damn you! We already got enough problems with incest in this country, child marriage, and you support a man that promotes bestiality, sex with animals. Scumbags! Demonstrate now! Demonstrate now to US Embassy that you protest against this law in US. And Muslim childs, male and female, are being given access to America to feed pedophilia. Pedophilia. God is great. The allegation of pedophilia was going on for months. And today, latest news. FBI insider, Pizzagate. Pedophilia ring arrests are now imminent. 30 police and 40 others in DC, VA, and New York City will be arrested. John Podesta, chairman of Hillary Clinton, is at the center of it. And the Senate minority leader of the Democratic Party, Senator Schuler, and Vice President nominated sidekick of Hillary are involved. Okay? Tim Kaine, the Vice President-elect, nominee of Hillary. This woman who murdered Gaddafi was revealed by WikiLeaks. She financed, I was paid by ISIS. I didn't say WikiLeaks. You can't have it both ways. You can't accept WikiLeaks on other exposure and denounce this exposure. No way. Okay? Let's see. In due course, what happens. Now, to end up this rather long, the Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan, a Muslim, a black man, has denounced Obama. Read this. 21st September 2016. Height of the campaign. At a program hosted at the Union Temple Baptist Church, in a Christian church, he's a Muslim. Nation of Islam leader, Minister Louis Farrakhan said to President Barack Obama, your people are suffering and dying in the streets of Chicago. So you failed to do what you should have done. Farrakhan continued by saying, It is time to let Republican presidential nominee, Donald Trump, do what he wants to because he's not destroying your legacy. He continued, but you didn't earn your legacy with us. We put you there, the blacks. You fought for the rights of gay people. You fought for the rights of these people and the bad people. You fight for Israel. Your people are suffering and dying in the streets. That's where your legacy is. Now you fail to do what you should have been done. Finally, this was said. I just want to tell you, Mr. President, you are from Chicago, and so am I. I go out in the streets with the people. I visit the worst neighborhoods. I talk to the gangs. And while excuse me. And while I was out there talking to them, they said, you know, Farrakhan, the President A never come. Could you get him to come and look after us? That's your legacy, Mr. President. Is in the streets of your suffering, with your suffering people, Mr. President. If you can't go and see about them, then don't worry about your legacy. Because the white people that you serve so well, they preserve your legacy. The hell they will. So, to every Muslim, every Christian who kowtow and lick their ass for Obama, and where else of Hillary Clinton, here is a black man, Afro-American, a Muslim, denouncing Obama. So don't you come and do a wayang kulit, have a demonstration with your US embassy, okay, on a side issue, and not addressing the cause of the mess in the Middle East. And Israel is the cause of every war in the Middle East. Demonstrate lah, please. With that, I hope I brought the issue to a focus for the whole country, and I hope you are clarified as to why I take my stand, why it's so vicious to do otherwise. With that, I close my address today and once again urge all of you, surrender to the will of Allah completely, have absolute faith that He will protect us, defend us, and guide us under all circumstances, if it's for all enemies, adversities, and challenges. With that, we will overcome evil as exposed today. Thank you and have a good day.